shit. That's why.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think about petty things. You know what I mean?
What
People
do you think
about petty things.
About now?
Just leave me alone. I mean, I just think about the economy, business, world affairs. I want to. My job is to make complex financial systems simple enough so the average person can understand it. That is extremely difficult because most people are brainwashed when it comes to money. Go to school, get a job, work hard, pay your taxes, save money, get out of debt, buy a house, and invest in the stock market. Everybody who follows that program has been brainwashed.
Okay. Tell that to the Romanians that come from a former communist country. We are 30 years into
money. I don't even care about money. I make a lot of money because I understand the system. I would never go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, buy a house, and invest in the stock market. I do everything exactly opposite.
What do you do? What should a Romanian that he's been fighting for communism to survive, and now he's into transition and doesn't understand this about capital?
Well, everything is the opposite of what they're teaching you in school. I wouldn't go to school.
And what would you do?
I would study money. I understand.
Yes, because they don't teach money in schools.
Correct. Understand that money is debt. And until you get out of debt, until you get out of money. In 1971, if you read my books, because I don't think you have.
I read.
In 1971, the US dollar became debt. The US dollar is the reserve currency of the world. I don't know if you know what that means. What does it mean?
It's very dangerous for everyone.
No, it doesn't.
And it's not covered in anything. It's the only value it has is trust.
I don't really want to do this interview anymore. If you want to find out what I know, tell me what you know, then don't interview me.
Okay.
Just you do your own stupid show. I'm trying to tell you something here, and you want to tell me how smart you are. That's very egotistical.
I'm here because I'm stupid. Let's get that
then
straight.
Let me explain something then, damn it.
Let's do it.
I'm trying to explain to you, when they tell you get out of debt, that's stupid because the money is debt. And the only way money gets out of debt is via taxes. So all the people who work for money, you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, what's lesson number 1?
Rich people don't work for money.
Correct. Money is debt. I use debt as money. And everybody thinks getting in debt is bad. Well, who told you that? I think the stock market is for losers. Why would you put money in the stock market when it's manipulated? That's what I think about. So I'm always watching the manipulation going on behind the scenes. be an employee, you choose to be an employee. You want to be an entrepreneur, you choose to be an entrepreneur, but you've got to study. They're two different people. What you have to study is different. Mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, they're different people. An entrepreneur is extremely different than an employee. But it's a different study. The trouble is our school system trains us to be employees. Go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, pay your taxes, get out of debt, and invest in the stock market. That makes you poor.
You've had the chance to be taught early. You've been challenged early. Most people don't get that chance. Where should people start?
Question the saying I just gave you. Go to school. What do you learn about money?
The fact that you just told me that you need to go to get a job to have money.
I didn't say that. You said that.
I said that. This is what we've been told.
Yes, so go to school, get a job. Question that.
Okay. So if I'm starting to question that, if a young person is looking at us and they say, okay, I'm ready to challenge that, what do I tell to my father? Okay, I'm not going to school anymore.
I didn't say that. You said that.
I said that, of course.
I just said question it. What's wrong with getting a job?
I went for a job to understand how the system works, but I'm not sure if it works to anyone. What's your opinion on that?
I thought you read Rich Dad Poor. Your money 10 times. So your dollar became worthless 10 times over. And then they used to pay you 10% interest on your money. Now it's at best 1%. And they're still lending it out 10 times. So that's why you don't save money, is because your money is becoming worth less and less and less and less and less. The banks are getting richer and richer and richer. Then they tax you on that interest they pay you. That 1% interest, if they pay you that much. Japan is 0. And the Japanese are so stupid, they still save money.
We also have 0.
Yeah, and they still save money. How stupid is that? So that's what I question. So how come that happens? Now, if I borrow money, guess what? Do I pay taxes on debt?
I guess no.
Why's that?
I know.
So this is what I'm saying. Okay, question everything.
Okay.
So when they lend out money, That's how money is created. Money is debt.
How do you store value then? Because we are, let's say, a lifespan of when we
So that's hypnosis. They hypnotize people into being employees who will work hard, pay taxes, save money, get out of debt, and invest in the stock market. Until you question those sayings, those words, you'll be a poor person. So when they lend out, why is debt tax-free?
I don't know.
Because that's how money is created. And so the banks love it. They love people who borrow lots of money. So how do I get rich? I borrow money. And I buy assets with it. The poor person borrows money and buys liabilities like purses, cars, houses, and they get poorer and poorer and poorer. But I use debt. I borrowed $300 million after the crash, dollars. In 2000, by 2010, I had $300 million to buy real estate. That made me rich. And the interest rates kept coming down, so my cost of money kept coming down. And so everybody else is saying, well, we should get out of debt. You know why? Because they don't question the hypnosis. You've been hypnotized to save it. The fractional reserve system prints it. And then it pays taxes. So I have all this debt and I get rich. So the question is, how do you learn to use debt to get, because they tell you not to get out of debt. So all I'm saying to you is, if a person does not question what they've been taught, they will always be poor. They've been hypnotized into being poor. Then you put it in the stock market, in pensions, right? So let's say I put $100 in a pension plan. When do I get that money back?
Most Romanians don't even dream of getting to pension now.
I understand that. But it's not just Romanians, please hear us worldwide. This is why I think, this is why I work, this is why I teach. You have to question what they're teaching you. So I put my money in a pension. I might not ever get it back because they could lose it. So the question I always say is, well, when do I get my money back? And the average person has been hypnotized. Go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, and invest in a pension. And you never get your money back. The whole thing was designed to keep you poor. So that's why I argue until a person questions what's already been put in their head. And that's what my poor dad put in my head. And that's America. Same as Romania. It's not any different. We save money, put it in the stock market. You never get your money back.
We all look up to the American dream. Is it all fake? I'm coming down to your book now because...
No, please let me finish, okay?
Okay.
Until you question what's already in your head, you will do what's already in your head.
Okay.
There is I don't know if people are Christian or not, but it's in the Bible because the words become flesh. Go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, invest in the stock market, buy a house, buy a car. Until you question that, you're hypnotized. You'll be a poor person all your life.
Okay, 6 very short questions. So, what would you choose between Apple or Tesla if you had the money to buy it?
What's that?
The companies, if you had the money to buy Apple or Tesla, what would you buy?
I just told you I don't invest in the stock market.
But in companies, in
I won't
businesses,
invest in either.
either of them.
No, so I don't get my money back. I want my money back.
Okay. Gold or Bitcoin?
Gold.
Fight or flight?
That's a stupid question.
Sometimes people that fight lose.
So what? What's wrong with losing?
Okay.
Question what you've been taught, and you ask me superficial questions rather than why wouldn't I invest in Apple or Tesla? So See, that's a more important question.
It's an open question. You can
But why wouldn't I invest in it?
because you don't get. I'm starting to learn.
Yes, I can or Tesla, and I would use debt. I wouldn't use my.
But do you think they use their money to grow?
Of course not. Look at Amazon. This guy Bezos, right? He's one of the richest men in the world. Do you think he pays any taxes?
He did profit to his investors.
Do you think Bezos became a billionaire paying taxes?
I wouldn't bet on that.
He doesn't pay taxes. Trump doesn't pay taxes. I don't pay taxes. So the question is, how do guys like us do it? Is the question you should be asking.
Because the rich people make the laws.
I wouldn't go to school.
I appreciate you for taking the time.
Thank you. Thanks for putting up with me.
I appreciate you challenging people all the time through your interviews and your workshops and everything. I got so much out of your books, and I'm going to keep on reading. I'm not that smart. I'm not smart enough for that.
Please question what you've been taught.
I've been doing that, and for the past year, for example, I stopped saving money and putting money into a company instead of saving into a personal account, let's say.
That's good. Making some changes. Congratulations.
Small changes.
Yes.
But I'm talking to a very large audience. We've been all taught to do the stuff you said. So they need to start somewhere.
And that's why I said challenge what you've been taught. Why would you go to school and learn nothing about money? Why would you pay taxes?
That's a very tough question, and we have that issue. But
it's not just Romania. It's worldwide. So please understand, it's not just Romania. You must think, today, if people complain, I don't make enough money in Romania. Well, you have a cell phone, you can make money all over the world. You can make money in dollars, yen, zloty, pesos, It's just limited thinking. If a person doesn't change what's inside their head, the actual thoughts running their brain, which are words, never change. So the change begins when you question. Get a job, work hard, pay taxes, save money, get out of debt, invest in stock market. Until you question that one, nothing changes.
Too much?
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to say anything about the new?
Well, Fake, my new book, Fake, is just that. It's how I don't use any money and how I don't pay any taxes. Because it's fake money, fake teachers, fake assets, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. I don't touch any of that garbage.
And but
you've been taught to do that. That's the question. Until that is challenged, you don't think fake is fake.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you. V-am spus că va fi o călătorie destul de zbuciumată. Sper că v-a fost de folos ce ați auzit. Sper că rămâneți măcar cu această idee importantă în minte și încercați să o aplicați în viața de zi cu zi. Nu vă încurajez să renunțați la școală sau să vă dați demisia astăzi. Îi încurajez pe toți cei pe care îi cunosc să se gândească foarte serios de ce fac lucrurile pe care le fac. Și alege întotdeauna să faci în primul rând lucrurile care îți plac ție. Dacă reușești să le transformi și într-un business, cu atât mai bine. Ia totuși cum strop de sare, ce spune Robert Kiyosaki, este la București pentru o conferință unde este plătit recește să învețe pe alții cum să facă bani. Într-o perioadă în care businessurile lui ar avea nevoie de puțin mai mult ajutor. Cu toate acestea, Robert Kiyosaki este celebru pe internet, clipurile lui au milioane, zeci de milioane de vizionări și cu toți avem ceva de învățat. Dar așa cum am învățat noi în țara asta, mai de la periferie așa, când vin oamenii aceștia foarte deștepți care să ne învețe pe noi, unii dintre ei sunt bine intenționați, dar alții au și un interes. Da? Gândește-te tu, în primul rând, ce poți folosi în viața ta de zi cu zi, cu multă înțelepciune. Nu uita să dai un like, un share și un subscribe dacă ți-a fost de folos și acest podcast, iar până data viitoare să-ți fie numai bine.
Honored to be on your program.
No, I'm honored to have you. Thank you so much. Now, this show is all about freedom and entrepreneurship, and I want to explore all of these themes. So let's get straight into this. Rich Dad Poor Dad is the most iconic book when it comes to, understanding the system, money, debt, and taxes. And I think the reason is because people can't get that information anywhere else. We're not taught it in school. So I want to kick this off by asking you, why is financial literacy just not taught in schools?
That's a very good question. You know, I always ask people what the school teach you about money. And for most people, it's not important. I remember when I was 9 years old in the fourth grade, and I asked my elementary school teacher, what did we learn about money? And she looked like this. She had chopsticks in her hair, you know, she looked like a witch. And she says to me, she says, the love of money is the root of all evil. I said, who told you that? You should have heard that in Sunday school. Was corruption was deep into religion and everything. So that's why they don't teach money. They think it's some kind of religious problem. They really don't understand it.
But that's interesting that you asked that at such a young age. How did you know to question things at such a young age?
Well, because I went to a rich kid's school. By accident, you know. This was in Hilo, Hawaii, the farthest to the south, west of Miami. I love Miami. But across the street was Hilo Union School. You know, they read me like football, me a little baseball at the start of school. It's Hilo Riverside School. That school was for rich kids. Public school. But they owned the plantations. My classmates owned the plantations across the street were the first generation immigrants to the plantations. And I realized I was poor. Although my father was the head of education, poor dad. And so that's why I said, how come they have nice bicycles? Why do they belong to the yacht club? Why do they go to the country club? They weren't really at home. Because I couldn't make money anywhere. And so I used to go and carry a golf bag. Hitchhike to the country club, and I'm singing the Caddyshack. And get hamburger, which was 25 cents. It was a lot of money for a hamburger back then, because most hamburgers were 15 cents in town. This is the country club. So I go to the back door of the country club, and I order a hamburger. And I look through the door, and there's my classmate. That's when I realized I was poor. I said, how come their parents belong to the country club, and my poor head of education can't afford to go there? So that's where the whole thing kind of started clicking for me. And that's why I got back to Riverside School. I asked that teacher with the chopsticks in her hair, head pulled back, you know. And then we learned about money. She said, the love of money is the root of all evil. I heard the same thing in Sunday school. So the whole education system is geared to be anti-money.
That is so fascinating.
Religion's what I mean too.
Yeah, absolutely. But what would financial education in school look like for you? What would you like to have learned? Roberts often talked about how important it is to diversify your investments in order to build a long-lasting wealth. That's why he and nearly 90% of financial advisors are investing into alternative assets. In fact, Morgan Stanley says that for the last 30 years, including alternative assets in your portfolio could have lowered your volatility and increased your returns. That's why Bank of America has a pretty big high-performing alternative asset class. Fine art. Last year, art prices rose an average of 29%, and Masterworks returned over $25 million to their investors. In fact, a recent Masterworks said in late March returned investors more than 15% realized profits after just 36 days. Masterworks offers art from legends like Picasso and Vinnie George. As a result, paintings can sell out in hours, and due to the high demand, Masterworks have been a weakness. So you can get special access by clicking my link in the description to invest and learn more about Masterworks' impressive performance.
Well, it was very simple because my poor dad, I thought he bugged him enough, you know. So what do I learn about money? It's not best friends. Because that was my goal. He changed his name from the Alias Movie. And so why does Mike's father know about money? Because he's an entrepreneur. What's that? Well, then what are you? rich dad never went to school, ironically, and wouldn't teach me about money either. And he kept objecting. I didn't realize he was part of the process. He wanted to find out how badly I wanted to learn. And he says, and as we all know as entrepreneurs, right, salesmanship begins when the customer says no. And so the more he said no, the more I got incensed. And so I kept going back to talk to him, and all he says, get out of here, kid. That was test number 1 with my rich dad. Test number 2 was if I teach you, you have to work for me for free. And I said, why for free? He says, because if I pay you, you think you're dead. The rich don't work for money. So you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is right there. The rich don't work for money. And I'm now all confused as a 9-year-old kid. And so that's when the whole thing started about financial education. And I realized, my poor dad was my first PhD, which stands for Poor, Helpless, and Desperate. And in the academic world, the school teachers, most of them, they don't know it. The good people, they don't know that. And my poor dad kept saying, well, if I get my PhD, then I'll be safe. PhD, what's that? So he went to Stanford or Chicago Northwestern. He still learned nothing about money. And so our kids, the young kids, about your generation today, they're as they're indoctrinated, not educated. Black Lives Matter, critical race. I don't know what woke. I don't know what the heck's going on anymore. So our education system is more corrupt today than, let's say, 60 years ago when I was a kid.
The difference between employee and entrepreneur is fascinating. What it means to get a paycheck and how that changes your mentality. We're going to get into all of that and the whole woke culture. I'm surprised I turned out the way I did. But in terms of Rich Dad Poor Dad, you talk a lot about assets versus liabilities.
Correct.
And many people were shocked when you said that a house is actually a liability.
Right.
So why is it a liability? And can you explain the difference between an asset and a liability?
There's a bigger question here is, you see, the language of money is very good. The definition of the word. So, and the good thing about it is, you want to be rich, just speak the language of money. Like if I wanted to go to, let's say, Spain, I would learn Spanish. I'm 4th generation Japanese. I want to go to Japan, I learn Japanese. But when you go to a school system, you learn the language of a school teacher. Go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, pay taxes, get out of debt, and buy a house because it's an asset. But all you have to do is learn the words. So my poor dad called his house an asset. Mm-hmm. And my rich dad said, your house is a liability. Again, it's just the power of words and language. The difference between rich people and poor people are words. And words are free. And when I say that, and it naturally it upsets the school teachers who are mostly, they're not bad people. When I was in 1965, I read the Communist Manifesto by Marx. And as I read, I went to military school in New York. And reading the book, I realized, God, my family's communist.
Wow.
So they believed in taxes. They believed in, abolish real estate. Today Klaus Schwab says, you will have nothing and you'll be happy. That's all Communist Manifesto stuff.
Why don't people realize that? Because that statement, you'll have nothing and be happy by 2030, is just so, it's so evil. Like I feel it in my soul. So why can you and I feel how evil that is? But a lot of people aren't aware of how that's so communist and so toxic.
Well, because, in education, they use post-education. They don't speak in specifics. They speak in generalities. Like we should all be equal. You wouldn't disagree with me.
I do. Yes, I agree. We should all be equal.
We should, but not reality.
Exactly.
So the postmodernist communists, the Marxists in our academic system, they speak in these platitudes like equality, this, that, and it's as non-specific as possible. But as a capitalist, I must speak in facts, figures. But they want to change history, 1619 projects. And the real fact is, America, and you got to pay taxes. Well, Marx said graduated income tax is essential for the spread of communism. And so my father, poor dad, he believed in paying taxes. My rich dad didn't. Again, the word is taxes. And so when you look at IRS agents who are armed. The reason is they're going after small business. They're going after the small entrepreneur. They can't touch me, because I'm not that stupid to pay taxes. I can do it legally. But that's why I make fun of my friends Peter Schiff and Mark Mosco. They're living in Puerto Rico. You're a real estate guy. Yeah, you can live in Puerto Rico. You can live anywhere you want, not pay taxes. But again, it was Marx who graduated taxes. He's such a spread of communism. But the real fact are, in 1773, America was founded as a tax-free nation. It was called, against your homeland, England.
Yeah.
It was Boston Tea Party that said, screw you, we're not paying taxes. And so the real facts are, America was founded as a tax-free nation. That came 1776, which was a battle of Lexington, Concord, and so on, the Revolutionary War. Just look at the facts, look at history. But now these academic types, they want to learn history. They want to use these platitudes like we're all equal. I don't know what else they use. I can't
Love is love. That one. Love is love.
I don't know exactly.
Yes, that's a very big statement.
Show me.
Well,
I don't want to pay taxes on it. I do. Yeah, I couldn't say that if I was not legal.
did you know that you don't have to pay taxes? You can move to another country and pay zero taxes legally. You might have seen my interview with Wealthy Expat, who does exactly this for you. They've helped over 500 crypto investors and entrepreneurs like Iman Gadji and Hamza lower their taxes down